Hello and welcome to Now We Know, where we revisit traumatic and delightful kids pop culture of the 80s and 90s.
Yep, each episode we pick something impactful from our childhoods to look at through the jaded eyes of adulthood. I'm Kevin Werkheiser, and with me, as always, is Chris Tognati.
That's right, I'm here. Never fear.
Master Control to my Tron, or possibly the Tron to my Master Control. Depends on who's running the episode.
Well, there is no Tron in the movie we're here to discuss. Tron does not appear.
That's an interesting point. I hadn't thought about that.
So
No
I'll take Master Control, and I guess that makes you Hassan Minaj. Or as I call him, Ha Ha Hassan Minaj. Ha ha ha.
Yeah.
So funny. So funny, that fella.
Yeah, he's the funny one.
Yeah. Hello, everyone.
Hello.
As you can see, Kevin, again, my commitment to this show takes me all around the world, and indeed today into the depths of cyberspace. I'm here live from this control room in the original 1982 Tron. Much as when I was on the Finders Keepers set, I have instructed those Tron drones back there to hold ever so still, for reasons I don't want to get into that have to do with how this technology interfaces with people modern. It's like when you try to boot up a really old video game that's like 5 kilobytes, but your computer can't do it. I don't look like I'm in Tron, and that's why, basically. It's like, it can't push me down to like 8 colors like it used to. But yes, I'm here in Tron world. And I'm having a great time. Not much to do here, as I've learned.
Yeah, is it a little boring? It
looks
good.
It's a little boring. It's a visual feast.
Sure,
and I love the retro aesthetic. But I've been here for 2 hours, and I already feel like opening my wrists. No, hello everyone. This is a momentous episode.
Yes, never before.
We did when I was gone. When I was gone to France a few weeks ago, you had Natasha on, and you did something neither of you had seen for the main feed, which was Garbage Pail Kids. Then you were gone, and Evan and I did something neither of us had experienced before: the Metal Gear Worlds of Power novelization, full audiobook. Check that out on the YouTube channel or the podcast feed. But this time, you and I are both here, and we are about to do an episode about something that we did not watch as children, because that would have been impossible, unless we really got up to some levels of technological terror that eclipse anything possible in Tron. They don't do time travel in Tron, surely.
No,
just Jeff Bridges gets older and older, no matter, even though he's in the computer, he keeps getting older and older like an old man.
Yeah.
We are here to discuss Tron Ares. This is the very first time both of us have been on the show, on the main feed, to discuss something that we didn't see as kids. We did see the original Tron as kids, and I think we'll probably discuss the entire legacy of Tron, including Tron Legacy, Tron 2, as we work our way through here. But it's possible that on the show you'll get some more of this, because frankly, we're creeping up on 200 main feed episodes. We have more than 50 bonus episodes. The original premise of this show, as glorious as it's been, and as long as it's taken us, for me, I don't know how you feel, Kevin. I feel like the well's running dry a little bit.
I'm really?
Okay.
The way through my original list.
All right. Well, I feel like the stuff that, I'll say this, I think the stuff that was truly impactful, that well is getting dry. The stuff that I could reasonably work up a little bit of a lather to claim were really impactful, I mean, that list is still hundreds long.
Okay.
I haven't done the Canadian sports cartoons with the hippo and the cat from Nickelodeon yet.
Yeah.
We're tentatively opening things up here, opening up to a brave new world with Tron Ares.
Yeah.
Tron Ares 2025, the third film in the Tron franchise. Oddly spaced out for a franchise that they keep returning to in this way. 1982, 2010, 2025. I can't think of too many 3-film franchises. Like, it would be as though, they had rolled out the second Blade Runner in 2012, and then we're returning to it now. They're doing another
that's
Blade
possible.
Runner,
That's
aren't
the
they?
kind of thing. I don't know, but certainly that's the kind of thing that is going on. It's not so shocking given our current landscape. It's just shocking given everything you should expect from how people should behave, how they should treat these things that allegedly, these stories that we care about. I'm doing air quotes if you're just listening.
If you had any idea how many people worked day and night to produce Tron Ares, if you had any idea how many people, men, women, and children, their lives were made miserable by Jared Leto in order that this movie would be made, you would, I think, watch your tongue. So, obviously, neither of us had seen this until this week. It just came out. Right. So why don't we talk a little bit about the original Tron? That's kind of the childhood inroad here, right? Tron 82. Sure. You and I have both watched this as adults. I will say, we watched it together. I will say, we fell asleep during it. I will say that when I saw it as a kid, my father brought Tron home. He was a pro-Tron guy. And I will note for the podcast, my father has passed away. Viewers of the podcast were aware that I went out there to visit him. I appreciate your love and your condolences, but that is why I'm now deliberately using the past tense. I used to do that all the time, but now it's accurate. So, sure. He was a Tron guy.
This is all verbatim your eulogy. My father was a Tron guy, he said.
Now, I want to just remind you all, since you're gathered here, the reason I'm saying was, if there was one thing he loved, it was Bruce Boxleitner's performance in the original Tron. Tron 82, starring Jeff Bridges, a young Jeff Bridges. Yes. Bruce Boxleitner, one of the most fun names in Hollywood history.
Hollywood.
Yeah. Yes, Hollywood. When I saw it as a kid, I thought, wow, what a fun, cool movie. I really like this movie. I wish there were more Tron. Mm-hmm. This is a very unusual situation where a movie that when I saw it as a kid, I was like, this is fun. And then you watch it as an adult, and you're like, this might be the most boring fucking major... because it's a Disney movie.
Yeah.
The things that are visually happening are very cool, and I like it, and I want more of it.
Yeah.
But you're just like, but it's just so fucking boring. Nothing happens. Nothing happens when they're in the computer. Once you're past the light cycles, Tron is better than ASMR if you're trying to fall asleep, in my view. What say you?
Yes, yeah, I definitely agree. I mean, as a kid, I only remember seeing bits of it, and anytime I'd see a bit, I was like, this is so cool. I wish I could see the whole thing. It was not easily available. I don't think it was on VHS, or at least it was not easily found for me. And I played there was the Tron video game in Tomorrowland in Disneyland, and I played that, and was like, God, yeah, those light cycles. God, I want a light cycle. Everyone agreed, yes, the light cycles are cool. A lot of people would talk shit about Tron, and I was like, but why? And it was like, oh, they just didn't understand it when it came out. It was, it's a
complicated film.
Yeah. And then, watching it as an adult the whole way through, I mean, as I have tried multiple times to watch it the whole way through, admittedly, is it when I'm like, well, this time I'll have an edible and give it a little performance-enhancing drug action. Yes, but I think that's, I'm trying to help, Sure, I fell asleep and it can lead to that, but I'm here trying to get on the wavelength and not worry so much about what's happening, who did what to who. It's not that sort of movie, and still it's so boring. I really love looking at it, and but you're just like, do something, or more on this for every sequel. Also, maybe just do less. Maybe have no talking at all. Maybe just visuals and soundtrack and nothing else at all.
Like you want a Koyanis Katsi for the Tron world.
Yes, absolutely. And
I tell you what, if you watch the third of that guy's Koyanis Katsi trilogy, there are things about it that are more distressingly like he's trying to do that than works or you would like. I watched the first 20 minutes. It's because it's like around 2000, so he's putting in all these terrible computer effects. Really a nightmare. I watched the original Tron, and I remember this thinking, oh, it's a little more interesting when it's the scenes of Ed Dillinger in his office talking to the computer, and that's a bad sign. That's the stuff I'm supposed to be like, get this out of here, get me back to the Tron world.
Hello, Mr. Dillinger. Thanks for coming back early.
No problem, Master C. If you've seen one consumer electronics show, you've seen them all. What's up?
It's your friend, the boy detective. He's nosing around again.
Flynn?
Yes? It felt like Flynn.
You're still looking for that old file. Can't you just appropriate it?
I have. I put it in my memory, which he hasn't located.
But he might find it.
I'm afraid so. I spotted him this time and kept him out, but he's getting trickier all the time.
I think we should shut down all access until we find that Flynn, just to be safe.
There's a 68.71% chance you're right.
Cute.
End of line.
But I loved the discs. I remember thinking that I loved the Tron guy, the titular Tron.
Yes, Tron.
But then I watched it again, I'm like, he's largely absent and just a dud. Just a dud.
Just kind of there.
The movie itself, I will say, as I was looking into this, critical reaction was divided. We had Roger Ebert gave it 4 out of 4 stars. He was a big Tron guy. He really liked Tron. Siskel really liked Tron too. Ebert said, a dazzling movie from Disney in which computers have been used to make themselves romantic and glamorous. Here's a technological sound and light show that is sensational and brainy, stylish and fun. Siskel called it a trip, and a terrifically entertaining one at that. It's a dazzler that opens up our minds to new tools, all in a traditional film narrative. They made it their video pick of the week in 1993, per Wikipedia, which obviously this could all be a lie. It would be a strangely true-to-life and elaborate lie, but it could be.
Sure.
Our next film is truly something special. It's Tron, an absolutely first-rate computer-age adventure film set inside the world of computer.
But I'll tell you who did not agree with them, New York Times critic Janet Maslin, who said of the visual effects, they're loud, bright, and empty, and they're all this movie has to offer. A round of applause for Janet Maslin for being correct about Tron.
Are they bright? It's a very dim movie.
The
They're
thing is that,
glowing, but it's very dim in there.
It is true that it is dim, but what makes it appealing is the glowing makes this stuff pop. Yeah. Like, I think it's a fair characterization.
Okay.
It was made on a $17 million budget. It brought in $50 million at the box office.
Oh, I heard it was a bomb. That's fun.
No. Well, this is, again, maybe this isn't true, this Wikipedia thing, because I don't understand how it could be true, unless this is some weird, perverse Hollywood accounting thing where they wanted it to be a bomb. But it says $17 million budget, which is $58 million adjusted for inflation, and then $50 million box office return and approximately $70 million in associated merchandising sales.
Really?
Which would mean that if you combined that and adjusted it for inflation, you'd be looking at a $58 million budget and slightly more than $400 million that you get out of this thing.
So what's the problem?
But the article notes that it was perceived as a financial failure by Disney. That doesn't make sense unless there's some trickery going on, or unless these numbers are inaccurate. So take that for what you will. Then, of course, in 2010, we have Tron Legacy, the resurrection of Tron 28 years on. Jeff Bridges is back. He is now older than he is in The Big Lebowski, if you've seen that movie and you know how he looks. Imagine him about 12 years older than that. And, however, he is younger, far younger than he will be in the film we're discussing on this episode, Tron Ares. They have the villain of that is a CGI de-aged Jeff Bridges. which when I was sitting in the theater watching this, I think I watched it with you, right? Surely
I
we
didn't
saw
see
this
it in
together.
the theater, I don't think.
Okay.
I think I only watched it at home. But, the theater at home is quite a theater.
Sure. I'm watching this. I see the de-aged Jeff Bridges, which I will say does not look, in terms of how realistic it looks, as much worse for being in 2010 as you would expect. When they're like, oh, we've cracked it now, you're going to see Harrison Ford and The Dial of Destiny. You're not going to know he's an old man. You're going to think this is a real young man for the 5 seconds that his face isn't moving, and then it starts moving, and you're watching like a chugging PS4 cutscene. But, given that came out in 2010, I think the effect is pretty good. However, what I did not think was that it looked like a young Jeff Bridges. Not the real Jeff Bridges, not the one from the original Tron. I thought he looked more like a different celebrity who has starred in movies, although that is not what his career is mostly known for. And then, to my utter delight, I read an interview with Jeff Bridges where he revealed that he has the exact same opinion about this that I do. I wasn't particularly fond of that recreation of myself, he recalled. I thought I looked more like Bill Maher than myself. And that is what I thought as I sat in that theater. I was like, what am I watching here? Am I watching Pizza Man? Am I watching Am I watching Cannibal Women in the Avocado Jungle of Death? No.
Is it Rat Boy at long last?
At long last, Rat Boy. Whither Rat Boy. In 2010 money, that had a $170 million budget. But it did make $410 million at the box office. So that's probably not the margin they wanted, but it's a profit. And then the franchise goes dormant once again until the arrival of Tron Ares. Now, Tron Ares has one thing going for it. It has our best leading man in the title role. In original Tron, we have Bruce Boxleitner as the titular Tron. In Tron Legacy, Bruce Boxleitner is in it. I don't know if he's still playing Tron, but
I think he is. Anyway, he's around.
Yeah. Let's just say he's still playing the titular Tron. Okay. In this one, the titular Tron not present, but we have the titular Ares, Mr. Jared Leto. Yeah. I think that, not to get ahead of the podcast, I think this is truly one of his worst performances I've ever seen. I think it's one of the worst performances of this type I've ever seen, and I think he should be ashamed of himself for this, at least as much as some of his alleged unseemly behaviors. Alleged. That is alleged. Not by me. I would never do such a thing. Jared Leto also a producer on this. With music by Nine Inch Nails. Yeah. And Tron Legacy, the music was done by Daft Punk, which I think makes it clear why, even though the music in Tron Ares was the best part of the movie, by far, it's not as good as the music in Tron Legacy, because Daft Punk is better than Nine Inch Nails. So, yes, I saw this at the Novato Roland Boulevard Century Cinema. Where do you see this one?
I saw this at Bay Street, Emeryville, because the Metreon is closed for Dreamforce. Sorry, Mark Benioff needs the entire Metreon, so I don't get to see Tron on an actual IMAX screen, so I had to watch it in Dolby's.
I did not see quite as resplendent a setup as I assume the Bay Street is better than the Roland Theater as far as how it looks.
Yes, and I saw the Dolby one, so it's like the max sharpness, max good picture, and then also super loud, like just cranked to 11. So I was pretty happy about that. The chairs had been, I don't know, every time I'd gone in before, the chairs were in great shape. This time they looked like they'd been through the ringer and they'd no longer reclined. We had to switch chairs to some that were still operable.
When was the last time you'd been in that theater? Because this would be interesting if we could figure out what the rollicking movie event was that torched the chairs.
I can just say it's been a while. It's been at least a year since I've been in the Dolby part of that theater, so I really can't say. But perhaps Sean Hurlburt could say. He was also present.
Sean Hurlburt, I assume, probably liked it the best out of the three of us. That's my default assumption.
I mean, I would like it would be shocking to me if that wasn't like if we had to put numbers to these things, if his number wasn't higher than our numbers. But when we were leaving the theater to jump all the way ahead to the end, he was. We sat in silence during the credits, very loud, and then we left, went to the bathroom, started walking out, and I said, I mean, I had a good time. And he was like, "There you go." That was where we were. He had many complaints. I'll bring them up as they come up. But but his final take on it was, I don't want it to be that because I had a good time here, that these people think they can just throw, like, keep chumming the waters with this shit, basically. It's not fair for, like, I shouldn't have to have a bad time at the movie in order to, like, not say that this is good enough. It's not good enough, but yet I did have a good enough time.
Well, I think he's in luck because however good a time he had at the theater, I don't think Disney is going to perceive that as justifying this exercise based on early box office returns. It has made $60 million in its first week of release, but the budget is $180 million, and this is widely being reported as a disappointment, as below targets. So
I see.
I mean certainly, Tron Legacy was 170 and made 410. This movie's not making $410 million. And it was a lift to even get them to go back to the Tron well after 2010. Well, I'll tell you what. I might be able to save you the trouble because we might not need you to describe what friend of the show, Mr. Movies, Box Office Sean Hurlbert, thought of this movie because I'll tell you what. You can hear it from the horse's mouth.
I would probably agree with every bit of your harsh criticism because I would probably be able to give you a laundry list of harsh criticisms on it because it definitely warrants it. But even given all the like tearing apart I could do of it, at the end of the day, there's just something so about the Tron concept and how it's presented that it's just always going to be cool to me. I'm always going to love it. And I can make peace with being able to enjoy it while at the same time recognizing that, like, man, I wish this were better. I just know that you could do like more with this. It could just be so much more cool, but like what is there is so cool.
We do get like pretty quickly some good like visuals and music happening. I was pretty happy with the soundtrack. Obviously, I think the Daft Punk soundtrack is just an all-timer, so I'm not going to compare them, but I did enjoy it.
I've already said that the work of Nine Inch Nails in this is the best part of the movie. And after the movie, when I went on Letterboxd to score the movie, as I enjoy doing, I know you disagree with it, I first gave it 1 out of 5 stars, even though I really thought it should have been half a star. But I was like, but the music was pretty good, and it is like that kind of movie. And then 30 minutes later, I was like, "Nope, we're changing it back, half a star." I'm not giving that movie a bonus for the, for all I know, largely unrelated efforts of Trent Reznor and Nine Inch Nails. I will credit them for their good work. The movie is not going to get to a ride on the coattail of just the soundtrack.
Well, but it's what you're seeing and hearing, and what you're seeing and hearing is good. Except for the parts where they talk and the other people are around. So the basic premise is you see Jared Leto just, sort of doing a live, die, repeat situation where he keeps getting challenged with more and more of your traditional programs, the guys with the circular little frisbees. And then he's got like a triangular frisbee thing.
It's a little triangle with sharp bladed laser edges.
Yeah.
And he's being jumped by these programs and killed, then being resurrected. And they make it seem like Evan Peters, who is the new head of the Dillinger Corporation. As you should know, any Ed Dillinger, the villain of the original movie, is his great-grandpa. It's all really about family. This is a movie about family, and in particular, the good family and evil family who drive the world of AI and fight to shape its direction. They use the term AI at one point in this, which I hate, because that's not what this is about. This is just normal computers. That's what Tron's always been about to me.
Normal computers.
Normal computers.
There's definitely been AI in Tron.
Normal computers. They're programs. They're not LLMs. But so Evan Peters is in his office, and he's like, again, bring him back again so we can kill him again, and then algorithmically he'll learn how to be the perfect warrior.
Yeah.
Early complaint for me, if this is how he's programmed, he never demonstrates this level of proficiency as a warrior throughout the movie. It's not that he's not good at fighting, but he gets bodied plenty, and he should be untouchable if this is how they built him.
I agree. This whole intro sequence, like, I already was like, it's not that I'm not enjoying this exactly. It felt like a sketch. Like, it kind of reminded me of the one from Tim and Eric where Paul Rudd is like doing stuff on a computer where it's just like feels like a joke that they're like patch program and then he's like, oh, I'm a better program now, installing patch. All of that just feels like hackneyed and ancient, and you're just doing it for this new version of it, but it's not like you have a new idea of what programming looks like or how this should be conveyed.
Good morning, Paul. What will your first sequence of the day be?
Computer load up, celery man, please.
Yes, Paul.
Could you kick up the 43D 3D Street?
4D3 engaged. Add sequence oyster.
I mean, I don't know anything about programming, but at one point towards the end of the movie, you see Evan Peters feverishly typing command lines in his terminal that controls the laser that makes Tron real. And at one point he types in like sudo, S-U-D-O. Right. And I'm like, oh, that's the thing I had to type when I was trying to install Linux on my old Chromebook.
Sure,
it's like that can't be the programming language that runs the Tron is real laser, right? Surely it's got to be some... Yeah.
Yeah, at least, running the laser I'm kind of okay with. Like, it just zaps, right? It zaps in a magical way, but if you're just like, okay, aim laser, you can do that in Python, surely.
So, yes, Jared Leto is Ares, named after the god of war. And he's being trained up, and then as an intro we get like the, dueling newspaper headlines and media reports about the two towers of the computing industry. Encom, which is the company that Kevin Flynn, played by Jeff Bridges, works for in the original Tron, which in the original Tron is headed up by Ed Dillinger, who is like the villain of it. Flynn works for Dillinger, but they're all in one company. We then learn, and I don't know if this is in Tron Legacy, but that now... then Kevin Flynn's son, Sam Flynn, takes over Encom. And then at some point, the Dillinger family launches their own Dillinger company. Dillinger, if they had known while making Tron 82 that, oh, this is just going to be a fucking Star Wars thing, where it turns out that this is several years old, so spoiler for The Rise of Skywalker, it's all just two families. It's just the Skywalkers and the Palpatines. Encom and Dillinger, the Jedis of Encom and the Sith Lords of Dillinger. If they had known that, I think they would have picked a better name than Dillinger for this entire... But Evan Peters is the grandson of Ed Dillinger and the son of Mama Dillinger, portrayed by Gillian Anderson. One of the better performances in the movie, I would say.
I don't know.
It
felt pretty one note to me.
But this is a movie full of terrible performances.
Sure.
Who do you think is the best performance? Is it
Jeff Jeff Bridges.
You might be right about that. It stings to say because how much do you think they paid him for that?
I don't know. Like for that afternoon.
Jeff, you're not even gonna have to put underwear on. We're just gonna drape you in a sack. You don't have to shave. You don't have to bathe. Yeah. You'll just saunter out here. Jared Leto's gonna stare vacantly and say some insipid lines, and then you just have to go, Oh yeah, right on, man. You do that. You do that 3 times, and we will hand you this check for how much money do you think it was?
I hope that he got at least 100,000.
He must have. I bet he got more than that.
Yeah.
I don't know. Well, I mean, he could have asked for more. I never thought the original, again, the Rise of Skywalker syndrome. The original Tron, I was never like, this is really about Jeff Bridges and his story. Like,
Yeah.
no, what's cool about this? He shouldn't be involved in any of this. There shouldn't be people who venerate the memory of Jeff Bridges' character, and that is like casts a shadow over the plot of these movies. Get this the hell out of here, move it along, give me a new creative idea that capitalizes on the only thing that works about Tron, which is how it looks, and in the subsequent films, how it sounds. But instead, he's got them over a barrel, because they need the original Jeff Bridges in here, right, to make this all hold together.
I guess.
Because they're
yeah.
addicted to there being some kind of like slightly weepy sentimentality in these things. It's the same thing that befell the Ghostbusters sequels. Like, they cannot give that up. And if you want that, you need to see, oh, Jeff Bridges will soon die, and look, here he is on your screen.
I say this. Jeff Bridges doesn't do Big Lebowski. Jeff Bridges is not in Tron Legacy. I think that they're like, it's a get that we have this guy that's locked into this, that would be in this, because he was in the original, and he's somebody that everybody likes still / now.
Yeah.
And so I think that was the fundament of that being necessary, even as it was not necessary. But it never mattered. Like, the fact that his name is Kevin Flynn, you said this before we did it, and I was like, I really would think I thought I knew every fictional Kevin. Like, I pay attention. When my name pops up, I listen. And yet, the characters in Tron are not really what we're here for. The conversations in Tron are not what we're here for. And so, never... I mean, they mostly call him Flynn anyway, but still, I was like, well, you seem like you're reading it, so I guess you're telling me the truth. But otherwise, I would look this up. If you said, oh, what's that guy's name? It's Kevin something. I'd be like, no, it's definitely not that. That is not true.
Kevin Flynn, the programmer? Yeah, nice try.
Yeah. So they're making this perfect weapon in the computer. He's just like, he's basically Norton antivirus. And so, but here's the hook. Here's the hook, is that we're going to use, we'll do a little like retcon that Flynn always said, that the computer was going to come out of the computer, and that not just that we would go into it, but that it'll come out. And then the bad guy Dillinger Peters shows his investors, here's the thing of the future. I am going to bring a tank out from the computer. Here it is, a tank. And I'm going to bring a soldier to pilot it. And here he is. And
here he is, Jared Leto, folks, in the flesh.
Look, he's just an unstoppable killer. You should invest. We got this. And then they leave, and then it all crumbles to nothing.
Yeah.
Because it can only last 29 minutes. And,
which, I tell you what, you know who they should have hired to at least triple that that timer is Dr. Peyton Westlake from Darkman.
I said that to Sean Hurlbert. I said they should have it be that they keep bringing people out, but they don't check what time it is, and so they've only ever got like 4 minutes because they mistimed how long it would take to get through the subway or whatever. Just like in Darkman, and he was like, I can't believe I didn't think about Darkman. How did you not think about Darkman?
This was sort of a haunting moment for me in the theater, because obviously I thought about Darkman, but then also Evan Peters Dillinger, first Julian Dillinger, pardon me. I need to do this movie its proper respect by remembering these great character names. Julian Dillinger makes a point. He stresses this is the perfect soldier and totally expendable. And then there's the pregnant moment where you see that the completely monotone, affectless Jared Leto is clearly aware of and somehow affected by the notion that he is expendable. And in that moment, I'm like, oh, great. It's a robots' rights movie. That's what this is. It's robots' rights. That's what I have to be getting for the next. What about my rights?
Yeah, they touch on those too. Or they're like
a little bit.
Yeah, the AI shouldn't go wild. You should have control, because otherwise it could go crazy.
Yeah.
But also you have to take care of their rights. And yeah, especially in this day and age, it's like, no, you You don't. I don't care anymore. This isn't some theoretical thing. How will we know if it's alive? It's like, I know what it is. It's not alive. I don't want it to have any more existence than it already does. Certainly not any rights.
Yeah, but what if it could tell you that its love for Depeche Mode is really more of a feeling?
Yeah.
That's a thing. I could get ChatGPT to say that now in 3 seconds. If I use the word feeling and then ask it about Depeche Mode, it would say that. And you know what? And you know what I would say? Wow, right on, man.
Hey, all right, yeah. So he also hears the rain, and it moves him, and he's, it's whatever. When it started, I thought he was going to be the big bad guy, and then something was going to happen, and then once he was not going to be the big bad guy, I was like, oh, okay, maybe this could be interesting, and then it was not. But I was taken in for a moment that maybe he wouldn't be, even though he's the star. I thought it was like, oh, it's a star, but he's the bad guy star. That's kind of fun. No, It's one of these performances where it's like, you can tell they thought they were really onto something here. They're like, well, but he's like a computer, so how would he behave? What would it be like? It would be kind of like flat, but then it would be trying to be jokey, but not understanding how to be like that. And it's like, yeah, what that means is that I get this really unpleasant performance I have to watch the whole movie long because you're doing a bit that doesn't work in the sense of like being fun to watch. Like, not every performance is There Will Be Blood, where it's like, oh, you're doing a weird thing, and I love it. I can watch this for 3 hours, no problem. A lot of times, it's like you do have to consider the audience. Think about the audience. I wish they thought about the audience.
Yeah, no, Jared Leto, whether you want to try to say, well, maybe he was giving them what they wanted and what he gave is hot garbage in this. It's unwatchable. It is better now when he is at least like, oh, he's yearning for an understanding of who and what he is and what it is to be alive, but he's trapped in the computer. The second he's out of there and he's like, now that I'm not in the computer, I can start sprinkling in references to how I love the 1980s, which doesn't even make sense. You weren't created in the 80s. You later go to the 80s Tron world, but you're not from there. And like, I guess he's just been like siphoning or like devouring data about modern but also retro pop culture. I don't know why he would be particularly like,
why does he need to know anything about pop culture? If he's the perfect killing machine, why does he need to know what Depeche Mode is? Why would you ever give him access to music?
Yeah, maybe it's like Baby Driver, where he can only really kill when he's rocking out. It's all of that. It's so insipid, and it's so terrible, so wretched to listen to Jared Leto delivering those lines in the same monotone. Because they don't have it be like, oh, you could have it be, he's now out of the computer and he's in the real world, which on some level gives him an ingrained sense of what it is to be that way, and therefore he's able to communicate, even if slowly, more like a person. But they don't do that. They're just like, no, we're getting ahead, but even in like the epilogue, when he's writing to her, it's still the same thing, where he's like, I'm basically a haltingly descriptive, monotone computer, with nothing to say except very banal, not even observations, just references to the existence of things. It only works if you're like, wow, I'm impressed this computer knows what... It's the same thing as ChatGPT. Yeah. It's like, oh, wow, it knew this obscure piece of 80s trivia. That surely justifies a few more gallons of water. Here you go.
Yeah. I think that the reason, though, is because they're like, well, when we do sequels, we need room for him to grow and become more. We can't ever have a movie. This is a complaint that I had heard in advance of the movie. In fairness, this was not my original complaint. But we can't make movies now where someone goes through a change and then that's the end, because then how will we make a sequel? We have to have it open for that, and not just in the sense of like everyone's still alive. And so you can make Crocodile Dundee too. It has to be that he has learned absolutely nothing by the end, so that we can just like, we're building out a story here later. So you don't get a satisfying movie even for the first one. let alone for any subsequent one. You're just, they say, you know, holding the characters hostage. You want to see what happens to these guys? I'll shoot him if you don't go see this movie. It's like, well, I don't even know who he is yet, so no, I don't care. You can shoot him, you know?
You're being very reductive and unfair here. He learns some things by the end of the movie. He learns how to ride a normal motorcycle and to look damn hot doing it.
Yeah. I don't even think he looks that good anymore. And he certainly looks goofy in the suit. At one point, they do the thing where he's like reaching up, you know, Tron. Oh, we reach up, we hold the thing. I'm not gonna undo my ring light, but it'd be awesome if I held it up. But he's got these big old shoulder pads, so he's just like, I can't do it.
Yeah,
he just looks
like
goofy.
He's like a linebacker out there trying to hoist the Super Bowl trophy.
Yes, and his hair is long and lank. I don't know. I don't like any of it at any point, and it just gets worse as the movie goes on. So the basic thrust is, yes, these things can only exist for 29 minutes. Okay, I will say that in the theater, I was like, I have to let go of the question of how is this different from 3D printing a robot? Because what I'm seeing is a 3D printed robot, and you're like, I brought it from the computer, but then it dies. It's like, why don't you 3D print a robot with this same technology? It's all right there. You just don't know that it was in the computer.
You 3D print a robot, then you put a little hard drive in the robot that contains the program of Ares.
Yes.
I think most people would look at that and think of it inherently as much more expendable if that's his selling point. Because even if you know, oh, this is a computer guy, he's not a real guy, there's still going to be, on some level emotionally, for human beings, you're going to feel like it's not quite the same as if he's, you know, the droids from episode 1 that the Jedi cut through like cardboard, as George Lucas quipped.
Yeah. Yep. But I was like, I just must accept that this is different. You know, you know what it's like love. You know, well, it looks like nothing, but no, it's you would know if you were there that this is a computer tank and not a tank that we printed out with the specs of that tank. And like, what is it that they're weird weapons that shouldn't make any sense in our reality, where like the light cycle leaves the trail that then you can bump into, or it maybe splits you in half or whatever it does, depending on what's fun.
That is the justification for this complaint of yours, is that I think within the world of computer, when you are in computer, obviously nowadays everything is computer.
Everything is computer.
But when you are in computer, you're able to make things that you cannot make with real world technology. But then using special laser, you bring it out of computer, and for 29 minutes, the thing that is now in real world, because it was built in computer, it has fantastical computer abilities, which is tech that is beyond what our world can 3D print. Yeah.
Okay.
For instance, you couldn't 3D print that big thing, the big thing at the end.
Yeah.
You know, the crane thing that
I've thing always from the original, where it's like a gate that flies around.
Yeah. Another one of these things where, like, when I saw that in the original, it feels very similar to me of like how now in the fucking like in The Mandalorian, he's like, when I capture someone, I freeze them in carbonite. That was, I never was under the impression that like the biggest, baddest thing you can make in Tron computer is one of these things that just looks like an industrial like vehicle. It doesn't. They turn it into like a flying battle fortress in this.
Yeah, but it looks like you should just be like unloading like container ships with it.
Yeah.
Since time began,
so, but whatever. That's the deal. This is the conceit. Laser takes you out of computer. Laser also can put you into computer.
That's been true for 40 years.
Sure, God knows.
Yeah.
But so we get the good guy lady, not CEO, but like head of, or she is CEO.
I believe she's
the president-y guy that's like the jokester, but
yes, played by Hassan Minhaj, who, in my opinion, I think he might actually be the worst performance in the movie for me. Every line he says, I'm like, do you just need to go back to the White House Correspondents' Dinner and try that again? You're not an actor, buddy. I am sorry.
Yeah.
I've never been a big fan of your comedy, but this may as well be like a table read you're doing here. So So terrible, so odious.
I liked him better than her sidekick, who's just like supposed to be wacky and is just always like, "Oh, I'm sorry. Oh, I said this. Oh, I shouldn't have." Oh.
That is a terrible character and a terrible type of character. But I was really, even the sweaty, trying too hard version of that character from an acting perspective, I respect more than what you're getting out of Minaj here.
Right.
Yeah. Yes, Greta Lee as Eve Kim. She is indeed the
yes.
CEO of Encom.
Yes.
She inherited that position after her sister passed away from a brain tumor, glioblastoma.
Yeah. It's all very sad. It's all the divine right of kings in these movies. It's like, oh, even though she's not related to Flynn that we know of yet, though I bet she will be.
She's a Flynn acolyte.
She is a Flynn acolyte, and her sister had the company, and now it's yours. Is that how that works? If it's we're just gonna get Jeff Benioff when Mark kicks it. I don't think so. I think probably they will hire from within, or maybe find an exciting CEO from a different company. I don't think they'll just be like, well, it's very sad your sister died, therefore you are the CEO now. But anyway, she is the CEO.
That's how Meghan McCain got that Senate seat.
Yeah, the Senate is different than companies, because the Senate is all about what your name is and will you toe the party line. And companies are about, like, what are you getting done? Are you an exciting figure? Whatever. And she doesn't even want to be CEO. She's like, I'm going to quit after this. But this that she's doing is finding the secret code that Flynn had written in order to make the 29-minute barrier disappear. And now it's the permanence field, or the permanence code. Thank you.
Yeah.
And so she goes off into the wilds of somewhere cold, let's say Antarctica, and where her sister had been looking at all the old 5-inch floppy disks and checking them all, 5.5.
The old school, the ones that are actually floppy.
The floppy disks, and checking them all to see if there is secret code in there, as her sister had been doing. It's off the grid, and we are though it's connected to the power grid because they connect some power, and that is what she is up to. This is the tension of it, is which company will get to it first. And if the bad guys get to it, then they'll make evil tanks. And if she gets to it, then they will make life-giving trees. That is the level of sophistication we're dealing with here. I do
You like being able to imagine, what if there were only 2 AI companies in the real world, and one of them was obviously good?
What if 50% of companies were good?
Yeah.
We're like trying to do a good thing, and secondarily trying to make some money, maybe, if we have to. But what I do like in this movie is that she, Greta Lee, perpetually, maybe every 15 or so minutes, will very ham-handedly tell you what the stakes are, where we are in the movie, what's happening next, who's going where and why, what needs to happen, because they know that it's so dull and not interesting that they know from having seen the other 2 movies, that at some point I'm like, what's going on? Where are we trying to go? Who is this again? I've totally checked out because I didn't think I cared, but now the Periscope has come back up and I'm utterly lost. So I appreciated that. I didn't respect it, but I did appreciate it from just okay, thank you. And now we get another action scene, and here's another action scene. One thing that Sean and I agreed on afterward was, I said, each action scene was by and large pretty good and felt interesting and was distinct from the other ones. It was not like, oh, we're doing the same exact thing. It's different stuff, different things. And he was like, yeah, each one felt like its own thing. It felt different. And then we were both like, kind of a low bar to clear for your movie, that you're just like, well, look at them. They made a scene. It doesn't feel painfully repetitive each time there's an action scene.
Yeah. The action stuff is, I guess, the most success. That's the stuff where you can try to sort of synchronize it with the music, which is actually the best thing in the movie. If you had like stock action movie music in this, I guarantee you the shine would come off those action sequences very quickly.
1,000%. And it helps to be watching it at the Dolby Theater, which, as I say, volume's up at 11. And so then you get I just got like a very loud Nine Inch Nails concert. I was pretty happy about that part. And I was like, just stop everyone talking. Just take them away from me. They're not going to say something that's really going to change my mind.
No, they're going to say something really funny. The guy's going to have a whole bit about breakfast burritos. He's going to see the microwave. He's going to be like, I can make a breakfast burrito in this. And then he's going to make the burrito. He's going to be like, oh, you're going to see him enjoy the breakfast burrito. Meanwhile, Eve Kim, CEO Eve, is popping floppies into this computer, trying to find a permanence code that would allow computer to be real now, like a modern computer. This is premised on the idea that Kevin Flynn figured this out in the early 80s. Mm-hmm. He knows the code to make computer real, but it hasn't gotten out. I sort of missed why this data is being kept in this base in Antarctica, because later you find out that this data is also in the replica of his arcade they have in their own headquarters, and he also has another extra laser in his old arcade, which is boarded up. So there's no shortage of this enter in and out of computer technology. But
why is no one else going into computer all the time? You'd think that would be the best thing. That would be so much more fun than having a tank that was once computer, to just be like, everyone wants to go in there. We're all doing it all the time.
Well, Evan Peters, in his speech when he's like talking to the generals, the evil generals who want computer troops, he says, like, we've always been wondering when we would get to go into their world, but they're coming to our world. It's like, that's surely not true. Surely anyone who's aware of this sort of thing is like, when are we going to get, like, AI people in our world, more than, like, when am I going to get to, like, drive a light cycle in compute? That irked me a little bit. It feels like this movie needs to decide if it wants to have more or less to do with the current state of where these technological concepts are at in our society.
Yeah.
And I think it comes down in sort of a middle ground where you can tell they're aware of it, but they don't have anything to say. Right. And that's a bad mixture. But yes, she discovers on one of these...
What if you could go into Twitter? What if you could go into TikTok? What if I were inside TikTok?
What if I could go into X, the Everything app, and really be in there doing my banking? What if I could be handing my money to a digitized version of Elon Musk? Yeah, so she does find on the floppy disk the permanence code she's been looking for. It's been sitting here for 43 years.
A quick nerd complaint here. Yeah. She shows the code, and it's like, oh, it's half of a double helix. And then they find the other half, and it's like, oh, it's a double helix. But they don't say it's a double helix, which is true. He says, it looks like a double helix. And she says, it is.
Yeah.
A double helix is a shape.
It's the name
Either
of the
it is
shape.
or it isn't.
Yeah.
It looks like a square. It is. Like, oh, are you sure? Are those corners 90 degrees? I guess that could be what he means. I don't think so. I think what we mean is, you mean DNA. Yeah. But you refuse to say that because you know that's stupid. And so instead you say another stupid thing and make me mad. Go on.
Yes. So with this permanence code, they create an orange tree in frigid Antarctica, and they wait 30 minutes and it doesn't blow up. So they've done it. They've cracked permanence. Now it is time to return home with the permanence code on a single flash drive tucked into Eve Kim's pocket. The fate of all of us rests on her getting this back to HQ without being intercepted by the Dillinger brigades.
Yeah, which I think maybe take a helicopter instead of driving, if it's this important. Also, they drink the orange juice from the oranges from the orange tree. If you have never known this to last more than 29 minutes, you definitely haven't done any long-term tests on what it's like to drink the juice of the fruit. Don't do it.
And when it goes bad, it violently explodes. So you would be torn up from the inside out if the juice gave out after like an hour, which is entirely possible. So they're flying back. Meanwhile, NCOM, which its forward-facing function is a video games company. In the original movie, NCOM is doing video games, but then the Tron thing is like happening in the background. Mm-hmm. They're still like producing video games. Is the Dillinger company making video games, or is everyone just like they're doing PMC stuff? Yeah. It's not clear in what way they're competitive. I guess everyone kind of has a sense that one of these two companies will suddenly be the most important company in the world. But the fact that they're an online game company, it's like, oh, what if Epic Games, the Fortnite people, like, knew how to make computer real, and they suddenly became, like, more important than the Holy Roman Empire in human history. So,
and it's Epic Games versus Lockheed Martin.
Yeah.
Like, what? Is it? Yeah. I feel that would feel weird. That's a really good point. Yeah. They're fun-loving whatever guy, the tech guy that does the introduction when CEO is not home.
Yeah, Hassan Minhaj.
Hassan Minhaj, when he is, I don't know what his position is, though. I want to explain what he is and does, but he talks to Leto Boss.
He's the CTO, Chief Technology Officer.
Great. So he talks to
you asked.
Dillinger. Thank you. The CTO talks to Dillinger, the CEO, and says, oh, you showed off your tech, but you and I both know that only lasts 29 minutes. But it's like a secret. It's like, why would that be a secret? You should tell them and be like, don't trust this guy. He's lying to you. It would make him look bad, and he's your competitor in some unknowable way.
And you tank their stock.
Yeah.
I guess it's possible that Encom isn't like being really forward about the fact that they are also on this beat. I don't know, because they make it seem like Dillinger Corporation isn't totally... He's like, I can just feel it in my bones that she's trying to get the permanence code right now. It's like, is that really something you have to wonder about? Obviously, you all want this code.
Yeah, if you know it exists. Or it might.
But Hassan is doing a big unveiling for their new game, which is called Space Paranoiacs. And at one point, they have a slogan, I guess, where he's like, what do Space Paranoiacs do? And then on the screens behind him, it flashes the words, grind them into dust. It's like, it's not so catchy.
Is that from the original? I know Space Paranoiacs must be as a name of a game, but grind them into dust.
I couldn't tell you. Maybe it is. It feels like you would think it is, because it wouldn't be that clunky otherwise.
Yeah.
But when they're like, as someone who's played a lot of video games, I'm like, this game stinks. Because I'll tell you what this is. If this is a game created in 1982 by Kevin Flynn, then this is like what the state of a new Pac-Man game is nowadays, where it's like, this is not only not what original Pac-Man was, it's neither far enough away from that nor creative enough to be a good modern game. This is trash. This is trashware coasting on the Space Paranoiacs brand. But the whole presentation goes down because they are being hacked. The Encom servers are being hacked surreptitiously by Julian Dillinger. Gillian Anderson playing his mom. Whenever he starts doing something evil, she strolls in as like, what are you doing? They're going to find out. You're going to ruin everything. This is the Cassandra of Greek myth. She was right about it all, but no one would listen.
Beautiful.
Yeah. He hacks in, and obviously hacking is portrayed as he's injecting Ares and these other like shock troops into the beautiful glowing blue Encom servers, not the evil glowing red Dillinger servers.
Yep.
And they get in there, they steal the necessary data to ascertain where Eve Kim is, and where she's going to be arriving. As you said, you should have a little more OPSEC with this return trip. Like, it shouldn't be like, I'm going to hop on a motorcycle. What if you crash and die and now the code's gone forever? This thing is bigger than you. You actually need to take it seriously. Yeah. So they're in and out, but while he's observing the data stream, Ares sees all this info about Eve Kim and sees video of her taken on her sister's deathbed, and you can tell that he's silently moved and curious. What is it to be a human? What is it to be a man?
Because she cares. Her whole thing is, we're just here to help the world. We could help the world with all this stuff. And he's like, what? Yeah. They want to help the world? They don't just want to blow me up over and over?
Yeah. This is whatever the AI version of propaganda is. It's like, no, you're trying to convince me that one of these companies is good, and none of them are good. And there's not going to be one that's good. This is technology that, though it could be leveraged for good, never will be. It never will be, because the people who are in charge of it, they're all weird, evil sociopaths. They wouldn't know good if it bit them in their ass.
Yeah.
Anyways, yeah, so now that they know she's coming in, they dispatch Ares and Athena, his second in command, to have themselves a light cycle chase to try to retrieve the thumb drive, which is in her like motorcycle jacket pocket. She splits ways with Breakfast Burrito sidekick boy.
Yeah.
And she takes off on her normal motorcycle, which is not as fast or impressive as a light cycle, although almost. She evades them for a long time.
Yeah.
And again, if Ares is algorithmically trained to be the hottest shit on Earth, it really should not be the case that this woman outdoes him for this long.
There's a moment where she kind of thinks outside the box and runs her motorcycle at the Athena program. That at least is something that you can be like, oh, you know, human ingenuity or something. But most of it is just like, I don't know. Yeah, she's just better at riding motorcycles than these things that only know motorcycle. But
all I know is computer and motorcycle.
Yeah. But then she finally does get cornered by them. She breaks the flash drive in half and throws it into the water. And it's like, it's gone. It's all gone. And they're like, no, but it lives. Like Rafiki says, it lives in you. Yeah. So they take her to computer and put her in computer. And they're like, oh, we can extract data from inside you, but it might kill her. And so then he's like, should I kill her? So when Ares interacts with Dillinger, the youngest, it is that this like godlike face, like from the original, shows up in front of him. But then what you're seeing is Dillinger's just typing on his entirely flat keyboard, which is less nice to type on, surely, than a real keyboard where you get to feel it. So he's like, you know, oh God, oh, it'll kill her. And then he kind of is like, all right. Then he's like, okay, take it out of her and kill her. Like, no mistakes here. And Ares is like, are you sure? And he's like, you know, I have a story about a little program that didn't do what it was told, and was eliminated, was derezzed for its hubris. He's like, okay. Then he goes and tells Athena, we're supposed to wait. And Athena's the tough one. Even though she's the goddess of wisdom, she's actually much more of a hothead than Ares. Yeah. So, badly named, but I guess that makes sense because they're just named by these assholes that don't remember Greek mythology. They just think names sound cool.
Palantir.
Yeah, exactly. It's all the same. She checks in. She's like, wait, so what I'm hearing is that we're not supposed to kill her, oh god of gods? And he's like, what? No, yeah, you're supposed to kill her. And also, you should probably kill Ares. And she's like, all right. So it goes back. And now it's we're on the run. We're trying to get CEO Kim out of here. Well, we do want the information that's in her brain, but we also need to get her out of this immediate vicinity.
And apparently, you can escape computer if you just go to the transfer portal. And if you go in this portal, that means the Dillinger lasers will forcibly manifest. Like, he has no ability to stop this. This keeps happening, where people come through the lasers that he is not expecting, has not ordered, does not intend to come through. This can't be how it works. It can't be that just because you get to this like door in the computer, the lasers start working to bring you like.
Well, it's the back door. Remember how we used to think about back doors all the time?
Yeah, this
not anal. I mean, the computer backdoor.
This is a mighty big backdoor. This is probably this is really the only action you get that is solely within the computer, is this escape sequence. Not as much is made of it as it should be. It's fun to look at him light cycling through the bright, deep red Tron world.
Delete Ares and bring the user back to me. Copy.
My directive.
Which was?
To retrieve the code from your disk and delete the carrier.
Dillinger told you to delete me?
Hang on! Where are they?
Scanning.
Copy. 3 and 4.
Sector 18 clear.
But, like, it's all just him. He's not going side to side. It's not a maneuvering chase. He's just tearing straight ahead. And the only movement is him going up and down, in and out of this, like, computer water.
Water, yeah.
Yeah.
Earlier, when she dumps the program, or the flash drive, for clarity's sake, because there's a lot of programs in this movie, into the drink, I thought, oh, it's going to be a thing that it's like, oh, he tries to dive after it, but he doesn't know about water. He was surprised by rain, so he doesn't know how to swim. So this is going to be like a thing that's like, why would there be water in computer? And then we get to computer, and it's like, no, there's water all over computer.
Yeah, but their water doesn't involve condensed hydration, as they always marvel at when they are in the real world. So they escape. Athena throws all her various tricks and drones and doodads at them, but they are cleverly evaded by the mighty Ares, who secures a promise from Eve, although she is non-committal about whether she can be trusted, that she will find the permanence code and use it to make him permanent, because he needs to get out into the world to, say, listen to Depeche Mode, which presumably he was able to do in here, because he later comments on their music with, I don't think it's a terribly convincing, I love this band speech, but he clearly has heard them. He prefers them to Mozart. Yeah. So, no shade there. I'm sure many people prefer Depeche Mode to Mozart. Sure. If you've seen the movie, you know how much that sucks. I don't need to explain. You've heard him say those lines, and you know just how terrible it is.
Why is that? It's just a feeling. Fascinating.
So they get out, they get in, they leave the computer, they are in the warehouse where the Dillinger lasers are, which is the same warehouse they film all the Avengers movies in. This is all in one warehouse. Evan Peters is there, and he's like, I didn't call these people. And then he sees, oh, Ares has come through, as has my rival CEO. But he doesn't have the horses. He doesn't have any computer goons there with him, so he can't really try to stop them. Mm-hmm. I mean, he could have, like, I'm sure he has security guards. He could be like, shoot her. Yeah. I forget. As long as she's dead, I don't give a shit what. He'll be dead soon enough. He's still on his 29-minute timer. Mm-hmm. But they run out. They steal a van. They stop at a gas station. They steal a car. She proves to this guy she has the money to pay him $10K to borrow his phone by holding up a picture, a magazine cover of herself on it, and then she does the pose from the cover. Her doing this in front of a security camera allows Dillinger to know exactly where she is. Athena and her laser hang glider have been manifested. I don't know why he doesn't manifest more of these guys to really, really sew this up. Yeah. Don't just send one of them.
Yeah. Bring an army.
This one of them was Ares' second in command. He gets lucky that she doesn't also have different ideas about what it means to be a program, but she could fuck off just as easily as Ares has if she's offered a better deal. But she is now in hot pursuit. They know that she's coming. Ares acknowledges as much. He's like, Athena will be after us. But then when they finally get to the HQ, he keeps mentioning the time. He's like, 12 minutes left before I de-res. We need to have this done in 12 minutes. But then they get to the HQ, and they're just walking to the elevator. It's like, I would hustle if I were you. Yeah. You've got a very low margin for error here, and you're being hunted by a cyber killer. They go up, in the top floor of NCOM HQ is a little room that is modeled to look like Kevin Flynn's old arcade. It's got all the old Tron arcade games in there. And apparently one of his original terminals is here, which means the permanence code is here. So it's just been in their nostalgia arcade in their headquarters this whole time.
Right.
There's no moment.
All the secret clues and then combine the codes.
There's no moment in here where she realizes, based on what the code is, I can see now this is probably also at his arcade in our headquarters, which really makes you wonder why why did she go to the Antarctica, forward operating base? Why wouldn't you have kicked around in here first?
Because then they would know that you're looking at that, and they have access to all the same code. This way, she got to do it while no one was looking and not know what was going on. It's the off-the-grid part was the important part.
I see. But she wasn't off the grid, obviously. Because they were still able to use, satellites to see where she was and see the orange tree. So they saunter up there, taking all the time in the world. They set up the laser because they have to send him into 1982 computer to meet with computer Jeff Bridges in order to retrieve the permanence code and be made a real boy. Mm-hmm. So they set it all up. Athena shows up on her laser glider, and he's like, oh, she's waiting for me to de-res so she can kill you. He's got, I think, 20 seconds to go. Something and she's got 3 minutes. So she's like, well, I'll have 2 minutes to polish this all off. Mm-hmm. He attempts to nobly sacrifice himself by attacking Athena, but they laser him before he can, sending him in to look for Jeff Bridges. And this is the big stunt of the movie. Look, it's the old Tron world, the Tron world you remembered from 1982. Look how retro it is. This is in here to try to make losers like you and me feel positively towards this movie. Did it work, Kevin?
I liked it. I liked seeing it, yeah. It was everything was moving a little slow, and I do know that that's, right, but it did feel like, come on, let's speed it up a little bit here.
Yeah.
And there were a couple moments where it was like, oh, this is a gorgeous shot, and it was up for 3 seconds, if that. And I was like, come on, give me another 3 seconds. I'm only here to look at the things being nice. Let me see the things being nice longer.
Yeah. I liked seeing this mostly because it was a visually nice and calming, a calming visual scape. Which you have not
been so
had.
Much red.
Yeah.
And he eventually turns good, and you get the white lights coming out of him instead of the red. But most of the movie it's very red and black. So then the blue is visually,
It is, however, this is a dead server. This is like trying to play what's an online game that's really old. This is like trying to play on the original Worms World Party servers nowadays. That's probably not a good example. I bet there's still people on Worms World Party. Yeah,
it's like trying to play the Punch the Monkey game from MySpace ads.
There you go. Yeah, there's nobody here. There's the little floating dot program that he talks to be like, which way do I go? And he's got the retro light cycle. He ultimately tracks down Jeff Bridges. They have a long and very not good conversation. Jeff Bridges is his normal, casually charming self. He doesn't so much feel like he's playing a part in this. He is, as you say, probably the best performance because he's just laid back and not taking it all so fucking seriously. Why do all these legacy sequels have to take everything so seriously? At least in this case, the original Tron is kind of sedate. Mm-hmm. But they're not sedate. They're high octane, but also up their own asses now. Yeah. And this is where we get the conversation where he's like, I think Mozart, I understand he's recognized as the greatest composer in human history, but I actually prefer Depeche Mode. I'm giving this a lot more
so much more speed and energy and emotion.
Cut that by 75% speed. Cut out all the emotion. Just I actually think Depeche Mode is better than Mozart. And then Jeff Bridges is sort of talking to him about this in a leading way, trying to elicit this response, where he's like, I just think their combination of, synth pop beats and such is, actually, I can't even really put my love for Depeche Mode into words. It feels more like a feeling.
Why is that? It's just a feeling. Fascinating.
Yep. And this is an important line for Ares' character development because he's alluding to the existence of feelings, something that he absolutely knows about because he's been immersing himself in human culture. It's not like he says the word feeling as though he's just thought of the word for the first time. That is surely not his problem. And he's already been feeling feelings. It's the whole reason he turned against the master control system in the first place. I guess he was the master control system.
Right, yeah. But the reason he turned against Dillinger.
So this doesn't work because he turns good really soon. Like, you can tell he's not a normal program 20 minutes into the movie.
Yeah.
And then here he's trying to cash in some like revelatory moment that is not earned because we're already miles down the road from that kind of moment with him. And yet, despite that, they still saddle you with the terrible wooden performance as though he hasn't already figured this stuff out. Yeah. Just horrible, poorly conceived from top to bottom. Horrible performance by Jared Leto. Would really love it if we stopped seeing him in movies. Tired of him. Don't like him. Not a good actor. People are like, oh, he won an Oscar once. It's like, oh, the Academy thinks he's good? Did you know that Dustin Hoffman won the Oscar for Rain Man? And Barry Levinson won Best Director for Rain Man? Did you know this? Evan and I just watched Rain Man. That is a bad movie. That is a very bad movie. It's better than Tron Ares. I will say that. We were convinced that the portrayal of Dustin Hoffman as a Hollywood autistic man would be very offensive. I would say it was less offensive for that reason than I thought. He is playing a very particular vision of someone like that.
Yeah.
And to the extent that the movie is portraying that as a whole is offensive. I didn't think his actual performance was that problematic. The real problem, it's just a bad movie. Everything in that movie takes 30% too long to happen. Anyways, so he does secure the permanence code because he charms Jeff Bridges by referring to his feelings about Depeche Mode as a feeling.
Right, yes.
Why is that? It's just a feeling. Fascinating.
That's the skeleton key here. You have to say the word feeling to me, and then I know you're ready to be a real boy who's not computer anymore.
Yeah.
There's also
Then he's like, oh, but actually, I think I should have called it the impermanence code, because now you'll be alive, but you'll die when you die.
Yeah, but this doesn't. Then why are you so fucking old? You're in the computer, so you don't. Being in the computer, if you're real, you don't stop being real.
Right.
But you're not on a 29-second timer, clearly, because you're horribly old.
But he also says that like he only exists because Jared Leto's there to talk to him. He doesn't just exist there the rest of the time.
Right. So then why is he 70 years old? Why?
He just wanted to look like that for this purpose. I
guess.
What's funny is that when Jared Leto is like, "Are you alive?" And he like gives this sort of cagey answer, I was like, "No, I think that what you mean is, did you die in one of the other movies because no one remembers?" Could you tell me if you're dead? I truly don't know if you died in the last movie, and I'd like to know if this is like you are alive or you are not. And he's just like, I don't know. It's like, I guess you have to watch the movies again. No, I don't wanna. So now he is real boy. He comes out. He lifts his arms awkwardly.
Reach the disc.
Yeah.
But yes, there's some tension because Athena back in the headquarters is now attacking them. She cuts in half the laser that sends you to Tron 82, which means they now can't retrieve him. And they're panicked. How are we going to bring him back? In reality, there is another laser, another back door, that Jeff Bridges can simply send you through that is in the back room of his dilapidated, now 43-year-old, boards over the windows arcade place. If this place existed, either it would it would be something else, it would have been knocked down, or it would be this resplendent, nostalgic homage crypt to Kevin Flynn. There is no reality where this is just a disused storefront that still has the Flynn sign over the door. It's like, oh yeah, this is the dilapidated arcade Steve Jobs used to own.
Yes.
Oh, Apple, do you think you're going to do anything with that? No, we're just going to leave it in squalor as a condemned building. We will neither rebuild it nor retrofit it, and no one will ever see inside. So he gets out very easily, but he is not where he needs to be. Meanwhile, Athena is briefly distracted by the fire sprinklers going off in the headquarters. She too is confused and mystified by water, which buys them the few seconds they need for her to de-res before she can kill Eve Kim. She then immediately goes to the transfer portal and re-reses herself against Evan Peters' intention.
Yeah.
And
but he had told her to destroy Ares and Kim by any means necessary. This is important.
Yes, because that order supersedes any subsequent orders he can give because of the by any means necessary stipulation. Doesn't seem like that's how it works. It seems like he should still be able to rescind that order. But she's arrived at her own conclusion about what it means, and that's only what Ares did, so you can't fault it too much. She comes back out. Gillian Anderson emerges for the 15th time. You fucked it all up. I told you. We're getting press reports now. People are suspicious that the sudden presence of computer villains in real world is because of Dillinger. This is all over MSNBC. She's like, I told you, now you've ruined everything. The board has voted to take the company away, and they've put me back in charge. And now I'm gonna push the big red button that makes computer world go away. But she is fatally gored by Athena before she can do this, which makes Julian realize what a bad decision he's made. Now my mom is dead. Again, none of the people who run these real companies would care if their AI creation murdered their mom in front of them. That's not what they're in it for. They'd be like, wow, I really didn't think I could make you so good you could do that. Congrats.
Yep.
Effective altruism. So now we're like, oh, he's sort of regretting what he's done here. But Athena manifests one of the big, weird, awkward, floating, shipping container picker-uppers you were talking about.
Since time began.
And she will now ride this to the city like a chariot of fire and destroy Eve and seize the permanence code. They send out, Harriers, American fighter jets, to try to destroy it. I guess I kind of like that fundamentally it's it is hard to do because the drones that have light cycle abilities can really take down the jets easily, but one of them kamikazes into this thing and it does get hit with a couple missiles and it's it does disable this thing. It's this thing isn't such hot shit. It's actually kind of not the conveyance even within the computer stuff you've seen. She'd be much better off with the hang glider thing she was on before because she could move
fine. I do like that, and I like the way that the drone stuff works because the drones are sort of like X-wing shaped, so at some point they're flying in front of the jet and they turn on their beams that last the light cycle things. And so suddenly the jet following it is like, oh god, I can't turn at all because my wings are between the X's of the X-wing.
Yeah.
That stuff was a fun little moment. There's a couple of fun little moments. Some of these things are pretty competently done. Also, the fighter jet pilots are Trent Reznor and Atticus Ross, Nine Inch Nails themselves.
I didn't know that, but my hat's off to them. They were the best part of this movie. As musicians, I don't have much to say about their performances as actors. So Eve leaves Hassan Minaj and Breakfast Burrito Boy to hack into the Dillinger servers. It's like this, your chief technical officer, I guess within the fiction of this universe, he can successfully hack into and completely disable the Dillinger company's ability to have its evil computer realm. I don't know why you didn't do this sooner. Yeah. He does it in 5 minutes under threat of death. Presumably, he could have done this at any point. But now he is doing it, and that's what's important. Eve runs through the streets fleeing the giant thing. Athena uses these drones to create a little jar, basically, of the light cycle barriers that she can't get out of. And then comes down to kill her, or to drag her back to the computer to scan her brain, and in so doing, kill her. Yeah. But look who's here. Ares is here. He is now a real boy. He's still dressed like a Tron guy, but his suit is now white light instead of red. Yep. It is clear if he dies now, he's dead for good, because he is a guy now. Even though he still fights like a program, he's still very adept, let's say. Supernaturally adept.
The ultimate soldier. He's biblically strong, lightning fast, supremely intelligent.
I was wondering, is the movie going to be like, well, it feels like what they should do, or what you would do here, is now he's a real guy, which means he will die in this battle protecting her. And this is all the life he gets. But you can't do that because the movie's going to be such a hit, and everyone's going to want to see more Ares, so he has to just survive it and win the day. And they successfully deactivate the Dillinger server right before they kill Athena, so she knows she's not coming back. And it's all done with, folks. That's all, folks, except Evan Peters is going to be apprehended by the goons from the Trump administration's SEC. No, it's just some cops, I don't know, probably the FBI, I would imagine, would be involved in this. So in a desperate bid to save himself, you wouldn't do this, right? This isn't a smart thing to do. To send yourself to computer, to be stuck there forever. But it's also... the server's been cut off, so like it's all falling apart when he gets in there.
Yeah, that's bad. But it's, if all you have is a hammer, everything looks like a nail. It's like, I've been playing with this computer laser forever. I knew someday that I would jump into computer. Maybe it'll kill me. Maybe that is my correct end. But yes, he jumps into computer, and they use this new technology to bring about world peace, I assume. And Jared Leto gets to go off and learn what it is to be human.
Yeah, Jared Leto has his end of The Dark Knight Rises ending. Bruce Wayne sipping espresso at the cafe, but in fact it's Jared Leto sipping espresso in Italy. They do say that he's in Italy in this final scene. He's now dressed just like a Hollywood hunkster, just a generic greasy long-haired hot guy who rides a bitchin' motorcycle, but not a new motorcycle, a kind of retro motorcycle, so it's tasteful. He's kind of like a computer version of Che Guevara. That's what they're going for, and the way he looks here. And, the motorcycle diaries, you may remember.
Yeah.
He says in this speech that she is imagining as she reads his letter, I've got more exploring to do. I don't think the world is quite ready to meet me yet. I mean, the world's not... You're just a guy.
Yeah.
There's nothing...
You're just a guy. You're not interesting anymore.
There's much as if the Mariners make the World Series, sorry, you're not interesting anymore. There's nothing about you that anyone would consider interesting or unusual. What are you going to do? You're going to tell them, oh, just to be clear, I'm interesting because I used to live in a computer. Well, congratulations, you're now an insane man. You now get to know what it feels like to be viewed as deranged by the human population instead of being viewed as expendable. He also, and I didn't notice this is Wikipedia saying this. Apparently he says on the postcard that he plans to find Sam and Quora.
Yes.
Sam and Quora are the main characters from Tron Legacy.
Right.
Sam Flynn, son of Kevin Flynn, and Quora, portrayed by Olivia Wilde.
Right.
So that is trying to set up the sequel, where Ares
we can grab stuff from the other movies too, even though we've been kind of working pretty hard to pretend that that Tron Legacy never happened and nothing from it is relevant. We will be like, but we can grab them if we need them.
What are you doing here?
We gotta get to the flight deck.
But Clue won't be here any minute. We'll never make it.
Come on.
And then in a post-credit scene, also this was only mentioned in Wikipedia, I didn't get that this was the same guy, but the identity disc that Evan Peters grabs turns him into a Tron guy. It is turning him into the program his grandfather created, Sark, from the original Tron. He's the new Sark.
All my functions are now yours. Take them. Sark.
Yeah,
the big bad from
Sark.
Tron 1. Yeah, I don't even remember Sark. I don't know Sark 1.
Yeah,
from program A to program Z. I hate every program I see.
Yeah,
and that's it. That's Tron Ares. That's the whole plot of it. Just hearing us describe it, it sounds like it could be like a 2 out of 5. I am very passionate I would take 1 out of 5, I think, as a respectable score. That's what I gave it initially. Anything higher than that, I think, is just a sign of our degraded times and our failing culture. And that's the end of my feelings on that.
Okay, great. I once again, as is right for these films, gave it a little performance enhancing drug. So I can say that it's not. Here's what that circumvents. You could say that lessens the impact of my review, but it stops you from being like, well, it's not. You're not supposed to be watching it like that. You are supposed to be watching it like I did, and I had an okay time. I
reject the premise of what you're saying. I get that, like, that's what a lot of people do to try to enjoy the movie more, but this is a mainstream Disney movie. They're not actually making this hoping that it's going to be full of people like you and me who are like smoking a doobie before they walk into the theater. They want families and children to be watching this thing.
Sure. I'm not saying that the filmmakers want that. I'm saying for the average moviegoer might be like, you're being too intellectual about this. I'm saying I tried my best to turn the volume on the brain down to a 1 or a 2. And even with that, I was like, I'm liking the visuals, I'm liking the music. This is so terribly written and so terribly acted, and is just not, not a worthwhile thing to make. But also, I would say that about the last Tron. I would say that about the Tron before that. So what would you want out of this? You want this to be the best Tron there's ever been. It's not. It's just like all the other Trons. I don't think that it's significantly worse to me. I think it is about the same as every Tron. And I don't recommend any Trons to anybody, but I do like looking at them. As I say, I would love to have a music and cool visuals only Tron, like all 3 Trons, into maybe 2.5 hours. Just condense it all to that and let me watch it, have it on in the background at my cool bar, whatever. That is what this is. And then they add a bunch of shit. What it should just be is a long music video. That Daft Punk anime got it right. Just give me the cool music video, all the visuals and all the music, and we don't have to throw in a bunch of all this other nonsense no one cared about anyway, and just makes it too long and makes it bad. So
there are people who care, though. There are very interminably boring and pointless people who actually do care quite a lot about the about the fact that we did not get to see more Sam and Quora in this movie.
For sure, but they are few. They're thin on the ground. So I say, let them go. Let them make their own fan fiction.
I will say that I think this is, contrary to you, I think this is the worst Tron movie by a comfortable margin. I think Tron Legacy is the best Tron movie by a narrow margin.
Okay.
I think original Tron is the second best.
Sure.
And this one is a pale imitation, even of those deeply flawed previous Tron entries. The boredom yet visual enjoyment and ingenuity and novelty of the original Tron when it came out, I think is there's more for me to enjoy in that than I could even get out of the visuals and music of this. But in fairness, I wasn't drinking, I wasn't token at the theater, so maybe that's why.
Sure.
Because I care about this work. Yeah. I care about being able to write a review, and I'm reviewing this movie for counterintuitively the London Review of Books asked me to take this on, so that'll be coming out soon.
Great. Send me a copy.
You can put it on the Substack, which I'm sure you've been.
Yes. I'm stacking up. Don't even worry. All the subs are in one big stack.
So, Tron Ares gang, this is a big moment for us actually doing a contemporary in theaters now film here on the main feed. We hope you enjoyed it. It's certainly of more use to you as a film consumer than a lot of what we do, because some of our other, you're not going to be in a situation where your friend is like, hey, we're going to watch the 5,000 Fingers of Dr. T now. And you have to make a snap judgment about whether you want to, and if you say yes, you are locked in. You can't back out, and it will cost you $20 to say yes.
Right.
That's not a situation you're going to be in, but now you know. Now we know. 2 thumbs down. Is that copyrighted by them? They're both dead. Can we... Okay, let's do index fingers. 2 index fingers down. Kevin? 2 index fingers down for Tron Ares.
Yeah, not good. Don't see. If you do, I hope you have a good time.
Sure.
I really do like the music, and I do like the visuals. I really just wish that's all we had. Because
we want
all it has. Why are we pretending? Why do this to ourselves? In our, TikToked out culture, you could surely just be like, no, this movie's super short and there's nothing to it except for the good bits. Yeah. Just release the good bits only version. No, they did that for LA Confidential on the DVD. You can watch it just with music. Give me that.
The good bits of Tron are the bits that are really profoundly unique. Like, what if we have Evan Peters play the evil CEO and he's kind of doing like a Zuckerberg-y thing? Can you find me another movie that would do something like that? No. So that's where we have to devote our time.
Yeah.
What would you say the kid-friendliest bit of Tron Ares is?
When things leave trails behind them. I don't think there's like a funny bit, a bit that kids would like. It's not a movie for children. It's not a movie for adults, obviously, but it's certainly not for children either. But I liked the bits with the fighter jets, so that's the part.
How do you think it affected you watching Tron Ares when you were a child?
I don't think it will affect me long term. I think it will be as forgotten as the previous Trons. And 20 years from now, you'll be like, remember Kevin Flynn? And I'll be like, who's Kevin Flynn?
How about you tell us how watching the original Tron affected you as a kid?
It got me excited, made me want more digital, want everything digital, and I was wrong. Wrong. I don't want movies like that. I want one movie like that every once in a while. You can make me a Tron, you can make me a Sky Captain in the World of Tomorrow, but what you can't do is make every movie in that way so that everything feels as disconnected as those do. Because that's part of the aesthetic, is that they're feeling disconnected. But if Spider-Man feels like he's not even in the same room as Captain America, then what are we doing here? I want them to be in the same room.
Would you show any child or future child Tron Ares?
If they really liked the other Trons, what am I going to do? I will give them a shot with original Tron. And then, of course, having seen original Tron, I'll be like, all right, there are some sequels.
Showing them original Tron is the quickest route to having them have no interest in it. I think you're stacking the deck. I think you would have to... Yeah. When would your mom have walked in while watching Tron Ares?
Why are you watching Tron Ares? I don't know. I guess when Gillian Anderson gets killed, it's a little shocking. I wasn't so astonished, but I think it's...
a chilling moment for moms everywhere.
Yeah, exactly. When mom dies. Duh.
What would you say this says about society at this time?
I think it's pretty clear what it says about society at this time. I don't think it could... If you wanted to make it clearer, you would have to make a 2.5-hour movie about it. It is, meaningless nostalgia for increasingly decreased returns and... just boredom as we draw these movies out longer and longer so that they seem more different, because you're like, well, but this feels like a movie I've already seen. So if I just add in a bunch of boring shit and just draw it out, then it feels like a more differenter movie. Much in the same way that, like, in the 60s, you could have a pop song that was 2 minutes. And nowadays, if you did that, it would sound like one of those pop songs, because they had all these new ideas. It was so exciting. We had all these great movie ideas. And now we're like, well, we just want that part where it hits and it gives us money. So we'll just use the same ideas again. But again, we'll just add in some unnecessary bullshit. Also, AI bullshit. We don't even know. We don't care. We put it up there. This could have been written by AI. We'll find out that it was later.
What it's saying is that the AI stuff is going to save us so long as the good AI company gets the permanence code. Which company is that? We don't know just yet, but it'll become clear very soon, I'm sure.
All right, that's about it for this episode. Our theme music is by Seth Milstein, aka No Rush. Find him at norush85.bandcamp.com. Rate and review us on Apple Podcasts or Spotify or wherever you can. Subscribe on Patreon at patreon.com/nowweknow, and talk to us on X and Instagram at nowweknowpod. Follow us on YouTube. Also, youtube.com/@nowweknowpod. Want to be a part of the show? And Substack. Want to be a part of the show? Well, call the Now We Know hotline at 415-349-3659 and leave a message.
So now we know. But what do we know?
Rose is displeased. What to do?
Brad's the executive plumber.
Does your kind ever think about love, Chuck?
Well, I'll ask him, but I don't think he'll be very keen. He's already got one, you see.
If I were the boy in the purple socks, I'd hang myself.
A heart of a pig?
Muffins are so simple.
Where did Doc and Dopey sleep?
There's something a little yeek about a boy that's never played baseball.
Peckerhead.
10 years ago, nuclear was the preferred waste.
My ass is twitching. You people make my ass twitch.
Hey, Yuri, don't smoosh package. What are you, kidding me?
To think, the next time I shoot someone, I could be arrested.
Of course, a tracking device. But why didn't we just use that from the beginning?
Shut up.
As the natural leader of the children, you're doing a horrible job.
Listen, Justin, you've got to listen. The heat panels. They're terrible. Burning, they burn.
I was jazzing. Did you like it?
Dad hid everything in the cigar boxes.
I like Mozart. I say, if I'm being honest, though, I prefer Depeche Mode.
So now we know.
We know now.
Bye.
Bye.